Well, we're all but set to wrap up the triple header of match week 11 on Saturday, as it's Wolves without a permanent manager who kick things off here at Stamford Bridge, as Chelsea, with a win today, with the way that the results have gone today, have an opportunity to go temporarily second in the league. Joao Pedro and Liam Delap starting in the Premier League for the first time since Fulham all those weeks back here. This is a big opportunity. Spurs, United, Sunderland and Arsenal all having dropped points. Chelsea with Rob Sanchez in goal, the back four of Malo Gusto, Mark Cucurella, Wesley Fofana and Trevor Chalobah. What's up, Manny? I'm very stressed about this game. We just have to win. No excuses here. Wolves winless, as Liam Delap nearly gets his header there as Sam Johnston quickly on the scene there. Well, Wolves playing with a back five and the midfield three of Belagadre, Andre and Gomez, with the front two of Hwang Hee-chan and Bruno Strand-Larsen. If Chelsea win dinner at mine tomorrow, I hope so. I really do hope so. It's all about getting the win here today. Cannot lose to Wolves. Absolutely. No excuses. The problem is, our form at the bridge has not been as good as it should be. We'll see how Wolves play out the Chelsea press initially. Here's Cucurella. Joao Pedro playing as the number 10 today. Cucurella trying to be there, immediately trying to close them down. Does brilliantly here for Garnacho on the left-hand side. And surely a foul. Good start there from Garnacho, who scored the equaliser away at Karabag in the Champions League. That was a critical goal for Chelsea, having been down 2-1 at half-time. Garnacho immediately coming on and making his presence known. This time he wins the foul. Edge of the box. An opportunity for Chelsea to get this one in the mixer early on. Well, Enzo Fernandez and Pedro Neto scheming here in terms of which footed are we going to go there. The lapse link play to unlock things from us has to be. Our centre forward play definitely will improve with Liam Delap as the centre forward. And Joao Pedro in that number 10 position. We will see a lot more of him in terms of being active and trying supplying to the forward line. Neto and Fernandez behind this one. Fernandez delivers. He goes for the top corner. That's a very good save by Sam Johnston. That was arrowing into the top corner there from Enzo Fernandez. Sharp goalkeeping there from Sam Johnston. Good whip on this from Enzo. And Johnston had to make sure that he tipped that over. And it's a corner for Chelsea. Good start here for the Blues. Just have to win here from Chelsea's point of view. It doesn't matter how. It doesn't matter the scoreline. All that matters is the W as Pedro Neto delivers. Headed away. It's Cucurella's header into the box. It's cleared away. Wolves do very nicely as Caicedo cleans up here. No rest for Enzo and Caicedo midweek against Karabag. Caicedo had to come on in the 5th minute after Romeo Lavia pulled up. Unfortunately with a thigh injury. As Caicedo now has the ball. He's been our standout player this season. Here's Enzo Fernandez. Chelsea have to be up for this one. We cannot have the excuse of not stepping up for big games this season. Good win there for Andre. Brilliant from Caicedo. Garnacho! Big save! What a ball that was from Enzo Fernandez. Garnacho on the half volley. It was straight at Sam Johnston. As Cucurella wins the ball brilliantly there. Chelsea with a fast start here. Much better this from the Blues. Here's Malo Gusto. Onto the right-hand side for Pedro Neto. We would expected maybe Estevao to start this game, but having played 90 minutes against Karabag, have to manage the minutes of the youngster. Good pass there by Fofana to Garnacho, who's had a good start. Here's Trevor Chalobah to Wesley Fofana. These two played almost impeccably at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, limiting Spurs to a 0.05 XG in 90 minutes. Good shift out there for Pedro Neto on the right-hand side. Again, Wolves have been winless. They did cause us a lot of problems at Molineux in the Carabao Cup. We were 3-0 up at half-time. We were coasting. And then Wolves with the late flourish of goals. That game ended 4-3 on the night. Jamie Gittins getting his first goal for the club in spectacular fashion. He's on the bench too. Malo Gusto. No Reece James in the starting 11. Will be called up for Thomas Tuchel. We all know about Thomas Tuchel's love for Reece James. Really hope that he doesn't overwork him, especially playing as that right wing back in Tuchel's system. Here's Wesley Fofana. Good to see him back. Fit again. Pedro Neto up against his former club. Tries to take on Bueno. He's found Malo Gusto on the overlap. Cross comes in. Well defended by Totti Gomez. Nice play there from Pedro Neto, asking a lot for Cucurella. Here's Alejandro Garnacho. Away from Chachua. Here's Enzo Fernandez. Hurried on the ball to Fofana. Onto the right-hand side. Back to Pedro Neto, who's got a couple of real targets in the box now with Liam Delap back in the starting 11. Here's Malo Gusto. Clever little touch around the corner here. Thought about the cross with his left foot now. It's Cucurella strike, a deflection. And it's Enzo Fernandez's header that goes just wide. Well, Cucurella was going for goal. Enzo Fernandez got a head on it. We saw this in the Spurs and Manchester United game where Wilson Odobert shot from distance and it was Richarlison's flick-on header past San Lamens. This one, very close to opening the scoring here. Very good start this from Chelsea. Fully expected us to be on the front foot here, being the more dominant side. That was the chance by Enzo Fernandez, created perfectly into the path of Alejandro Garnacho. It was on the half volley, either side of Sam Johnston. We're probably looking at the game's first goal. Bueno goes back to Sam Johnston. Under pressure, Liam Delap really hurrying and harrying him there. Header by Cucurella. Lagadre finds Andre. Here's Gomez. Gets away from Pedro Neto quite easily there. Shifted onto the right-hand side. A bit of space now opening up for the right back. Sanchez comes and he makes a mess of it. It's a good thing that the Chelsea defenders were there. Moises Caicedo very much on hand. And on the right-hand side, Chachua and Belagadre is going to make those runs down the right-hand side as much as possible. You can see there far too much width there for the right wing back. Chachua put the ball in and Sanchez fortunately gets his claw on it right into the path of Moises Caicedo. Well, Bueno, Krejci and Totti Gomez, the back three for Wolverhampton Wanderers today. Going with the back five, Vitor Pereira losing his job, having not coached a victory in the league for Wolves. They did very well last season to stay in the division. But this season has gone completely pear-shaped for them. Great run this from Fofana. It's a magnificent carry. The French centre-back takes matters into his own hands. Drives in there and he gets the foul and a free kick for Chelsea. Good play there from Wesley Fofana. Chelsea take it quickly though. Throw in for the Blues. This is as big as incentive as you can have heading into this game. An opportunity to go second with Liverpool playing Manchester City tomorrow. Drop points for certain in that game. Totti Gomez decides to clear for Strand Larsen. Brings that down nicely, but it's João Pedro who's got the ball. Here's Enzo Fernandez. Liam Delap, lovely touch. Gets away from the challenge. Looks to just pull the trigger on his left foot. Well closed down there. Liam Delap does look hungry. Picked up that needless second yellow card against this very opposition in the Carabao Cup, which meant that he wasn't eligible against Tottenham Hotspur. But now he's back. Wait and see. Still waiting for his first Premier League goal. Enzo Fernandez does well, but he commits the foul. It's on the back of Wang Yi-chan. Sore one for the forward. Him and Strand Larsen will be the two key players that Chelsea will have to keep a close eye on. Trevor Chalobah was touch tight. It's a clear foul there by Enzo Fernandez on Hwang Hee-chan. Bellegarde will take this free kick. Chelsea holding a high line here. Just over 10 minutes on the clock. Wolves have ridden the early storm. Good ball behind the back line. The header is back in the box. Cleared away by Wesley Fofana. Santiago Bueno with a challenge there on Liam Delap. You can see Delap already chasing down the lost causes, making himself a presence for the Wolves defenders to defend against. Here's Cucurella to Enzo Fernandez, who started the game very well. Here's Caicedo to Cucurella. See, Malo Gusto is just inverted from right back into midfield, which means that Fofana will be playing as the right-sided centre-back with Chalobah in the centre, with Cucurella on the left. Here's Chalobah. Cucurella. Quick passes being exchanged here. Fofana onto the right-hand side for Pedro Neto. He's got much more of a box threat to aim at this evening, with Liam Delap and Joao Pedro both on the pitch for Chelsea. Here's Fofana. Plays it short. Cucurella. Lovely pass there for Garnacho's in the box for the cutback. An opportunity. Joao Pedro with the acrobatics. It's cleared away by Wolves. Surely a foul there by Malo Gusto. It is. That's a good ball in there. Joao Gomez does very well to mop up. Sam Johnston forced to go long. Lagarde does well, but his header is asking a lot there for Bruno Strand Larsen. Throw in for Chelsea. Garnacho's looked a threat early on. He's constantly making the runs down that left-hand side, behind the back line, trying to stretch the pitch as much as possible. Here's Pedro Neto, hugging the touchline on the right-hand side. Joao Pedro. Wesley Fofana. Chelsea with composed possession here. Chalobah, back to Fofana. We saw the two centre-backs in Hato and Tosin play against Karabag, and that experiment is definitely a sign of that ending as quickly as it started. It's the most shakiest that we have looked in the back line all season long. Now back with the more familiar pairing. Oh, Josh Achimpong in the starting 11. Looks like Enzo Maresca is managing his minutes heading into the international break as Enzo Fernandez sweeps the ball onto the right-hand side for Wesley Fofana. Enzo again. And this is patient from Chelsea, almost playing at a walking pace. Gusto. Chelsea have to move the ball quicker because with Wolves back 5 and the 3 in midfield, they will be as compact as possible. So it'll be up to Chelsea to try and open the lock. Chalobah to Fofana. Keeps it short to Joao Pedro. Dropping big. When you have a centre forward presence, you don't really mind Joao Pedro dropping in as deep as he likes to do so, because we saw that when he was the focal point, the number 9 in our attack, and often left that space absolutely vacant as Fofana drives with the ball, but he's lost out here, and Wolves can try and break if they win this well. He gets away from Caicedo. It's 3v3 if Wolves get this right. Strand Larsen's touch gets away from him. Big opportunity there for Wolves. Chelsea very casual. Pedro Neto wins the foul and a free kick. Duel there against Hwang Hee-chan. Well, that is Wolves' blueprint here, the template laid bare. When Chelsea turn the ball over in those areas, they can try and break with pace and incisiveness. Here's Cucurella. And Wolves have pretty much tick-marked their first objective of this game. The first 15 minutes, make sure you don't concede an easy goal and an early goal as Enzo Fernandez switches it out immaculately to Pedro Neto. Number 7 up against Hugo Bueno. Gomes is there. It's Gusto now driving forward. Good feed there. Malo Gusto is brilliant and nearly sneaks the ball forward. Hwang Hee-chan loses out and Cucurella with a stab forward. Out for a goal kick. Wolves are trying to make this as difficult as possible for the Blues. Malo Gusto taking a sore one there on his shin. 15 minutes on the clock. 0-0 at Stamford Bridge. Chelsea with the massive incentive to go second in the table before Manchester City and Liverpool play tomorrow. Well, James Collins, the man who's stepping in before Rob Edwards takes the place. The Wolves hierarchy going for the Middlesbrough manager, who did manage Luton Town in the Premier League when Luton did find themselves in the Premier League 2 seasons back, but they went straight back down. Hugo Bueno was not happy with the challenge that Caicedo made on him. Caicedo being kicked there. The last thing you want to see is Caicedo limping here so close to the international break. He's logged in shocking amount of minutes this season already. Having started all Premier League games last season, him and Enzo Fernandez really have been Chelsea's iron men in midfield. No Dario Sugo, no Romeo Lavia. With both players with injuries, Andre Santos is there as a midfield option. Here's Cucurella. Moises Caicedo. 3 goals in the Premier League for him this season. His best return since joining the club. Chalobah. Enzo Fernandez back to Trevor Chalobah. Chelsea playing again with short passes, not really trying to open up Wolves. Fofana takes a bit of a chance. João Pedro loses out in a critical area here. And again, Wolves are looking to attack here. Hwang Hee-chan feeds it onto the left-hand side. Wolves are in business here. He's left that short there. Gomez, he loses out. Again, very easily they've given up possession here. And João Pedro driving forward with the ball. Outstanding carry there from the Brazilian. Driving her team forward solo there. On the right-hand side is Pedro Neto. Will he go on the outside? He chops it on his left. Needs to be a lot more incisive here, Pedro Neto, with his decision-making this evening. It's Malo Gusto's cross into the box. It's cleared away, well defended by the Wolves backline. Garnacho will keep the ball in play. Here's Enzo Fernandez. Decides to keep it short to Cucurella. Back to Enzo. Enzo now with the ball in. Not good there whatsoever. No elevation whatsoever as Caicedo mops up. Oh, nearly found that channel ball to Pedro Neto. Here's Hwang Hee-chan. See Hwang Hee-chan dropping very deep to try and help out defensively. Bellegarde turns away. Hwang Hee-chan has got a bit of green grass to run at. Decides to push the ball forward. Get his team up the pitch collectively here. Here's Chachua to Bellegarde. Bueno to Totti Gomez. Here's Andre, the Brazilian, onto the right-hand side. Here's Chachua. Oh, he can't find the right pass there. Oh, Caicedo and João Pedro nearly getting in each other's way. Chelsea do manage to clear. Krejci brings it down for Totti Gomez. Here's Hwang Hee-chan onto the right-hand side for Chachua. Cross comes into the box. It takes a deflection. Caicedo is there. And he clears that away. Garnacho looking to turn away. Needs to take control of the ball here. Cucurella steps in nicely. Here's Enzo Fernandez. Looks up to be expansive with his passing. Instead, Chelsea keep it short. A bit risky, but play it out very nicely. Malo Gusto has been playing as a traditional right back by the looks of it, but he will constantly drift into the central areas as he looks to invert from right back to give Chelsea another body in the midfield area. Here's Malo Gusto. Wesley Fofana, 2 Frenchmen in defense. Cucurella goes back to Chalobah. Into the 20th minute, Wolves solid so far. And this is where Chelsea will have to be a bit more brave, a bit more inventive with their passing They look to open up the Wolves' defence. Fofana. Malo Gusto. Tries to drop the shoulder. There's nowhere to go. Keeps it short instead for Trevor Chalobah. He's picked his head up there, but no passing options. Instead, he switches it out beautifully there for Pedro Neto. What a pass that was from Chalobah. Here's Neto now on his left foot. Thought about drifting the ball in. Instead, takes the scenic route around the defenders. Pedro Neto. Cross comes into the box. Garnacho is there. It's a good header. Very good defending. And Wolves excellent in those areas. This is brilliant from Cucurella. Gets the foul possibly of Bellegarde. Play continues here. Enzo Fernandez. Moises Caicedo. Gusto waiting for options. Chelsea not moving very quickly here. Neto. Caicedo. Gusto. He's in the half space. Oh, he's left that very short there, the pass. That's very poor there from Malo Gusto. It's a foul by Marc Cucurella. He might pick up a yellow card. He doesn't. It's not given as a foul though. Play continues. Enzo Fernandez. Garnacho on the left-hand side. Step over. Cross comes in. Punched away by Johnston. Enzo Fernandez! That was heading for the top corner. Good save again from Johnston. Catches that sweetly there, Enzo Fernandez. Again, him and good strike there from Enzo. He is pretty much threatened both top corners in the early stages so far. Johnston with a good save here. Corner for Chelsea. Nearly halfway through the first half. It's been all the Blues so far. Antoine Grant says, "Hail up, watching from Jamaica." It's my absolute pleasure and thank you very much, mate, for tuning in. Corner here for Chelsea. Antoine, you can put in your score predictions in the live chat as Chelsea have a corner here. Enzo Fernandez will take it. Johnston doesn't clear it and it's cleared off the line. Well, that is not convincing goalkeeping there from Sam Johnston, but they get away with that one. Garnacho now floats this towards the far stake. It's Pedro Neto, chance. Oh, Chelsea coming closer and closer with every attempt. This time it was Wesley Fofana, but Chachua doing so well to make sure he got that. Oh, this could have been a goal for Chelsea. Sam Johnson completely loses the flight of the ball. Enzo Fernandez, on more than a few occasions, has had a shot on target here. There was a lovely touch there from Pedro Neto. Just lays it off. Corner comes in. Punched away by Johnston this time nicely. Gets good distance on it. Here's Malo Gusto. Enzo Fernandez to Malo Gusto again. Antoine says 4-0 to Chelsea and Estevao to score. I would be the happiest man if that was to happen. So all about the 3 points though. Scoreline does not matter today. Here's Joao Pedro. Moises Caicedo. Caicedo again. Joao Pedro. Not a good pass there from the Brazilian. Trying to find the Argentine. Goal kick for the Wolves. Yep, halfway through the first half. 0-0. Enzo Fernandez has come the closest for Chelsea. Alejandro Garnacho had an opportunity which is straight at the goalkeeper. Wolves on the other hand have been pretty much playing with scraps so far. James Collins, the manager who has just stepped in for this game before Rob Edwards turns up after the international break for Wolves to try and guide them out of this precarious position they find themselves in. Rock bottom of the league with no wins. Well, Sam Johnston will take his time, that's for sure. Make sure that he just slows the pace down and try and frustrate Chelsea as much as possible. We've seen that with some of his saves so far. Caicedo, Chalobah to Marc Cucurella. Driving forward with the ball. Again, always forced to go back with the swiftness at which the Wolves players get back into their defensive shape. Malo Gusto, Pedro Neto. Well, Neto has to really step his game up because Estevao Willian is knocking down that door. It just feels like a matter of time before he just starts regularly for Chelsea. Good pass there from Neto to Trevor Chalobah. Now Enzo Fernandez, first time ball into the channel, brilliantly played. Liam Delap times his run very well. Could have been a foul. Instead it is neither. It's not a corner either. Just a goal kick. Good pass there by Enzo Fernandez into the channel. Krejci doing very well to make sure that he came across. Yep, good defending there from the Czech Republic centre half. Enzo Fernandez likes to look for that early ball for the striker. Krejci, Totti Gomez and Santiago Bueno as the three centre halves for Wolves. Keeping a close lid on Chelsea's attack so far. 20 minutes left in this first half. It's been all Chelsea, but that first goal still awaits us. Bueno with the header back to Sam Johnston, who has been busy in the first half. Just feel that Chelsea need to get that first goal as quickly as possible. You can just open up the game a bit more. Here's Hwang Hee-chan. Oh, Krejci has lost out nearly at a very inopportune moment there, but he recovers very well. Here's Johnston, who's replaced Jose Sa in goal. He is on the bench. Cucurella is touch tight on Bellegarde. Hefty foul on him, but referee doesn't see that as a foul. Here's Moises Caicedo. Clip past channel. Oh, João Pedro had made the run. It needed a ridiculous first touch. Just gets away from him. Here you can see Enzo and Caicedo are looking for that early ball to the strikers. João Pedro and Liam Delap trying to cause the Wolves defense as many problems as possible. Here's Krejci. Hugo Bueno put under pressure there. Needless foul there by Moises Caicedo. Free kick for Wolves. Just takes the pressure off the back line. Well, Wolves have ticked their first objective of the match here. Nearly 30 minutes on the clock. 0-0 at the bridge. This is perfect settings from their point of view. From Chelsea's point of view, that first goal continues to remain elusive. Long punt forward by Sam Johnston. Wolves will have territory and a throw-in. And good passing here. On the right-hand side is Chachua. Quick scan there from Andre. And look at the work there from João Pedro. It's fantastic from the Brazilian, where he's working tirelessly all over the pitch. Here's Malo Gusto. Had an immense season in his first ever season for Chelsea under Maurizio Pochettino. Cole Palmer, Caicedo and Malo Gusto for me were the top three players in that season. The season before, we saw Marc Cucurella step up to different levels, with Moises Caicedo and Cole Palmer once again rounding off the top three in my opinion. Here's Chalobah. To Cucurella. Fofana now. Looking for options. Left that shot there for João Pedro. Surely a foul. Referee waves play on. Chelsea should have taken the free kick. Instead, João Pedro still on the deck. Enzo Fernandez finds Wesley Fofana. Here's Pedro Neto now. Clip pass onto the left-hand side. Perfectly onto the boot of Alejandro Garnacho. On his right foot, Garnacho with the strike. Good block. Has another bite of the cherry though. Enzo Fernandez. Cucurella. Moises Caicedo under pressure. Keeps it very well. Here's Garnacho. Again, Chelsea conservative with their passing here. Caicedo. Trevor Chalobah. Again, short and crisp passing here from Chelsea. João Pedro finds Chalobah. Into the 30th minute. Here's Garnacho. Cucurella. And pretty much every Chelsea player getting a touch in the opposition half here. Joao Pedro, clever pass. You could see what he was trying to do there. Just squeeze that to Enzo Fernandez, trying to thread that through the eye of the needle. Quick release there from the English goalkeeper. Could play this from Hugo Bueno. Really good carry. That's a crunching challenge there by Moises Caicedo to halt his progress immediately. Here's Andre. Totti. Here's Santiago Bueno. Decides to go long. Cucurella, he's lost out here. And Strand Larsen is in business on the right-hand side. He has an option. Oh, that's excellent defending there from Wesley Fofana. Corner for Wolves. Their first of the match. And just over 30 minutes on the clock. Marc Cucurella, once he loses that header, Wolves are in business there with Strand Larsen peeling off onto the right-hand side, looking to put the ball into the box. Chelsea have scored 8 goals from set pieces this season, but defensively we have looked suspect all season long. Have conceded far too many goals for my liking. Saw today Arsenal concede 2 goals, having conceded 3 goals all season up until then. As Hugo Bueno will take this left-footed corner, the in-swinger into the box. Sanchez is there and he claims brilliantly. We saw this against Spurs where Rob Sanchez was outstanding in that department. That's a clever pass there by Enzo Fernandez. And Chelsea looking for a quick break here. It's Joao Pedro on the right-hand side. Chelsea have committed enough bodies forward. Joao Pedro, Enzo Fernandez, ball into the box. Poor delivery there. Malo Gusto was winding up for the shot. Very well blocked. Chelsea still looking to open up the defense here. Wolves have defended admirably so far. Malo Gusto finding himself very high up the pitch here. Cucurella, the 2 fullbacks almost in identical territory here. Enzo Fernandez to Garnacho. Cross comes in towards the fast take for Joao Pedro. The defending is outstanding again there from Wolves. Outside of the boot pass is not accurate, and Wesley Fofana, with his aggressive positioning, wins the ball back for Chelsea. Well, Chelsea have had all the attempts in the match. 9 attempts, 3 on target. Wolves yet to really make an impact in that department. Garnacho, Cucurella, Joao Pedro, intricate from Chelsea. Joao Pedro with a very clever clip forward for Cucurella. Liam Delap holding off the play very well. Chelsea with sustained possession. Garnacho has to do better, but Joao Pedro again just bites in. His anticipation is spot on. Enzo. Here's Gusto in midfield. Spreads it on to the right-hand side for Pedro Neto now. Pedro Neto trying to go on the outside. Left-footed ball in. Blocked. Here's Gusto. Goes back to Fofana. Chelsea just lacking the answers so far. Pedro Neto takes the long route around the defenders once again. It's an errant pass. He's asking a lot from Cucurella, who does very well keep the ball in play. Here's Enzo. Enzo Fernandez keeps it short to the right-hand side. Wesley Fofana. Trevor Chalobah onto the left-hand side. Here's Neto. Again, switched out to the right-hand side nicely. Chelsea being conservative with their passing again. Wolves defenders pretty much just playing this game at walking pace here. Chelsea need to step it up. Garnacho looking to take on the defense there. Chachua quickly on the scene. Good defending there from the right wing back. Wolves look playing with a back 5 here at the bridge. Fully expected that to happen, considering problems that Chelsea have had with deep blocks over the course of the season so far. Without Cole Palmer, we don't really have that one. Somebody to open the defense with that kind of creativity and relentlessness. Here's Malo Gusto. Again, Pedro Neto. He's found a lot of the ball, but he hasn't shown the level of production needed. Here's Chalobah. Drives forward nicely to Garnacho on the left-hand side. Enzo Fernandez traps the ball brilliantly. Here's Caicedo to Gusto. Again, Pedro Neto has left it short. He's had a very poor first half here. And Wolves on the break can make things uncomfortable here for Chelsea. Here's Bellegarde. Cross comes in and nearly into the path of Bruno Strand-Larsen. Will be out for a throw-in for Chelsea. Antoine says, Garnacho, come on, give us a lead going into half-time. Well, he has looked threatening. He's had the best opportunity for an attacker in his first half. That pass from Enzo Fernandez was pinpoint, as it's a clear foul there by Krejci on Liam Delap. Well, 10 minutes remain in this first half. Still 0-0 at the bridge, and the scoreline that we have come to be very familiar with. Have to step it up here. A lot of the Chelsea fans might be asking the question as to why Esteban Willian isn't starting games in the Premier League for us, and it's an absolutely valid question. Let's make no mistake about it. Without Cole Palmer, he has been our best attacker this season. But you can see why Enzo Maresca is trying to be cautious with the 18-year-old Brazilian. Not give him a load of minutes early on. Try and manage his fitness, but he has shown what he's all about. Here's Garnacho with a few step-overs. Cross doesn't match the quality though. Did start 90 minutes against Karabag. You can almost assume that he wouldn't start today because of the 90 minutes that he did put in. Jamie Gittins was hooked at half-time. Here's Enzo Fernandez to his Argentine colleague Garnacho, Cucurella, Chalobah, Fofana, Chelsea being patient. Malo Gusto in the half space. Gusto looking to just break his neck and find uncomfortable positions, but Chelsea once again very horizontal in their passing. Here's Malo Gusto. Again forced to go back. Might be a foul there. Malo Gusto has suffered a few of them in the first half. Midfielders for Wolves will be biting into the challenges. Gusto is still on the deck here. Might run this out for a... Hope we're still with the play here. Gusto is still struggling here. Doesn't look good for Malo Gusto. He's not one to stay down, but he seems to have picked up a very sore knock here. Well, Gomez, Andre and Bellegarde for Wolves in midfield have really kept their shape. Let's have a look here as to where the foul was. Oh, that was an awkward landing there for Malo Gusto. You can see there, he just might have twisted his ankle as he fell down. You can see why he was not happy with the challenge and immediately hit the deck, and he's yet to get up here. Not a good sign here for Chelsea as Malo Gusto will have to test out that ankle. Got under 8.5 minutes remaining in this first half. Added on time will be supplemented after the 45 minutes. Chelsea still looking for their opening goal here. Enzo Maresca urging his team to be a lot more braver. You can see there what he's trying to say to Wesley Fofana. Recycle the ball a lot quicker by the looks of it. Gusto still on the floor. A game where Enzo Maresca was hoping that Reece James wouldn't have to be introduced. Might have to come on the pitch himself here, this Chelsea skipper. Well, Liam Delap has been feeding off scraps in this first half. Hasn't had too much in terms of real goal-mouth action. Need the forwards to combine a lot more in that final third. Garnacho, Enzo Fernandez, Liam Delap. Need a lot more from Pedro Neto on that right-hand side. Needs to bring in the quality. You know what he's all about. He loves to play that left-footed floating ball in towards the far stick. Needs to be a bit more inventive in terms of trying to open the defense up here. Well, Gusto's back on his feet, which is the good news. He will have to test out the ankle though, whether or not he's able to put weight on it effectively. He still is limping. May not be a good sign this for Chelsea. Malo Gusto hobbling off. Long way to go before the half-time whistle, so Chelsea can't really assess Malo Gusto. Have to do it right here, right now. Gusto struggling there to put any sort of weight on that ankle. He is writhing in pain, but he looked to carry on here. Back underway. Chelsea temporarily down to 10. Here's Rob Sanchez to Trevor Chalobah. Left-footed clip pass to Liam Delap, brings that on beautifully there. João Pedro feeds that forward for Alejandro Garnacho, who's got the pace, but on the cover, Wolves nearly make a mess of that. Garnacho, João Pedro, who has looked very lively for Chelsea. Cucurella to Garnacho on the left-hand side. 5 minutes plus stoppage time remain in the first half. Garnacho's crossing has been shocking. Has to do a lot better, but it's a corner for Chelsea. Totti Gomez with the interception, the Wolves skipper. Crucial block there. Chelsea take it short here. Garnacho on his right foot. Floated into the box. Good header there. He's got that in the right position as well as Chalobah. He looks for the foul. He doesn't get it. Totti Gomez wins the duel. Prevents the corner. Oh, that is so poor there from Trevor Chalobah. There's absolutely no need for that. Wolves were just looking to clear the ball. Chelsea would have possession again. Instead, Wolves now have a free kick and they can slow the pace down again. Antoine, you were hopeful for a 4-0 victory today. I knew that wouldn't be the case because Chelsea have not been convincing, especially at home all season. Reece James is warming up. His number might be called up if Malo Gusto is not able to continue here. Reece James definitely adds a different dimension, especially in that Malo Gusto position. Gusto somehow finds Garnacho. Here's Marc Cucurella. Lovely channel pass for Liam Delap, who is making the ball stick. He's lost out again. Here's Bellegarde, drops the shoulder away from Enzo nicely, but can't get past Caicedo. Somehow still keeps the ball there, Bellegarde. His pass is heavy, but Hwang Hee-chan does well to keep that in. Good possession here for Wolves in the Chelsea half. There's Chachua. Finds Krejci. Again, a good channel pass for Strand Larsen. Gets away from Trevor Chalobah. Again, Strand Larsen's touch has just been letting him down here. He does switch it out. Cucurella heads that away. Garnacho's first touch gets away from Bueno. Bueno's very strong, and so is Totti Gomez. João Gomez finds Hugo Bueno. Goes on the outside of Gusto, who looks okay. That's a good interception from the Frenchman. Fofana can mop up here. Sanchez punts that long on his left foot. And gets away from the challenge nicely. That's outstanding from Caicedo. He had no right to win the ball. Chelsea have possession again. Wolves with the high press here. That's why you see Sanchez going for the long ball. Risky from Garnacho. Chalobah shows unbelievable composure. Here's Caicedo. João Pedro. Oh, that's a needless pass. It has to go shorter and more accurate. Pedro Neto's putting the pressure on Sam Johnston, who does manage to clear. Here's Cucurella. Not an accurate pass, but another bite of the cherry here. And Garnacho's got space on the left-hand side now. It's Alejandro Garnacho. Enzo Fernandez blocked. And it's João Pedro drags that wide. Chelsea with finally opportunities. Enzo Fernandez's shot was blocked. It fell kindly to João Pedro. Edge of the box. Looking to find the bottom corner. Alejandro Garnacho has been heavily involved on the left-hand side. Try to find Enzo Fernandez quickly. Good first touch there by João Pedro. Quickly sides up which side that he wanted to go, but he pulled that horribly wide. Well, the Chelsea fans were hoping that the net would bulge on that occasion, but we're a minute away from heading into stoppage time here in the first half. 0-0 at the Bridge against 20th place Wolves, where Chelsea have the opportunity to go into second position with a win here. Cannot afford to drop points. It would be absolutely criminal from Chelsea, but it's something that I can't put past the Blues considering the inconsistencies shown by the team all season long. And Fofana loses that duel, but he sees the ball go out for a throw in. Malo Gusto really is struggling here. I wouldn't be surprised if he does come off at half-time. Fair play to him for soldiering on and getting about 15 minutes of treatment at half-time. Again, Liam Delap has spent far too much time on the floor here. Needs to hold up the play a lot better. Here's Totti Gomez. Krejci goes back to Johnston. We're into stoppage time in the first half. 0-0 at the bridge. All too familiar story here. 4 minutes of stoppage time added on here for the first half. Can Chelsea somehow get their noses in front just before the half-time whistle? Good move there from Bruno Strand Larsen. Excellent play from the centre forward. It's Caicedo who has a nibble. It's a needless foul and a free kick for Wolves in a decent position here. Strand Larsen gets away from Caicedo. Caicedo just leaves one on the centre forward. Well, the Wolves fans can be very proud of the way their team, under so much adversity, have gone out there and represented the badge. Vitor Pereira might be wondering where all that effort and energy was throughout the campaign. We see that with new manager bounce happening. Even if that old manager isn't in the dugout, we will see a definite change. Oh, Gusto loses out in a critical moment. Wang Yi-chan can't get around the Frenchman. Gusto does very well. He's caught in a cul-de-sac though. He has to find a clearance. Wang Yi-chan has done brilliantly there, but Cucurella will clear that away. There's Chachua. Throw in here for Wolves. They have navigated this first half relatively comfortably here. We saw a few attempts, especially from Enzo Fernandez, trying to trouble both top corners, but Sam Johnston was equal on both occasions. The first half has really breezed past by here. It's been a frustrating watch. Chelsea started off well, but the pace again just being pedestrian. Need to be a lot more inventive, take a lot more risks here. 2 points drops, unacceptable. Might have to risk going for the win. Here's Chalobah. Malo Gusto. Chalobah again. 2 minutes of stoppage time just wiped away here. Chelsea have to move the ball quicker. Here's Cucurella. Delap. Garnacho. Good play this from Chelsea. They move it around nicely. Enzo Fernandez to Wesley Fofana. Pedro Neto switches it out to Marc Cucurella. And the switch out again. Oh, it's such a poor pass there from Marc Cucurella. I cannot understand that from Chelsea's point of view. Trying to be very patient. Marc Cucurella has had a difficult last couple of games where he has dipped below his generally high standards. Wolves will take their time with every set piece, every throw-in, looking to run down the clock here. Final minute of stoppage time. Wolves with nearly a minute away from ticking their first objective, heading into Stamford Bridge this late evening for the kickoff. Triple header after Manchester United and Spurs played out a 2-2 draw. The same scoreline being reflected between Sunderland and Arsenal. Arsenal looking like they might have taken all 3 points, but that late Brian Brobby goal in spectacular fashion, and that the spoils were shared. Enzo. Here's Garnacho. Surely the last attack for Chelsea. João Pedro. He's been fouled, and it's a needless foul there from Wolves' point of view. Chelsea will have the opportunity with the free kick. It's Gomez on João Pedro. Brazil on Brazil challenge. Surely now the last action of the match. Reece James, if he was on the pitch, would have been candidate number 1 for this free kick. Instead, it's the right foot of Enzo Fernandez and the left of Pedro Neto. Still quite a fair few distance out. Better option will be to float this into the box. Time really is running out. Chelsea have to take this quickly here. We're going to borrow time. He's taken it short. What a strange decision as Gusto changes the angle. It's cleared away. Such a poor decision that. And Chelsea end the first half in disappointing fashion. James Collins, the interim manager for Wolves, would have seen that first half with full of encouragement. It's 0-0 at the break. Chelsea started off very well, but tapered off towards the end of the first half. Joao Pedro has been very exciting for us, but really lacks that final touch in the match. Liam Delap has to step his game up considerably. Pedro Neto has been poor in the first half. Garnacho, on the other hand, has shown a lot more about his game. Midfield have controlled the situation well. Wolves have not had a shot, but they always have a threat on the counter-attack, as it's half-time here at the Bridge. Chelsea 0, Wolves 0. Well, there have been goals in all the games so far. It'd be typical Chelsea, wouldn't it be, if it ends up 0-0 here. Well, I'm just going to take a quick break before I come back for the start of the second half. Need to give my vocal cords a rest, as that's been a triple header on Saturday. Started off with the live stream between Tottenham Hotspur and Manchester United, a 4-goal match. It wasn't the thriller, but it did end in thrilling fashion after Matthijs de Ligt scored in the 96th minute to give Manchester United a point at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. They haven't beaten Spurs since March of 2022 in the Premier League, and that run continues here. Arsenal, they were 1-0 down after Dan Ballard scored a tremendous goal in the first half. Bukayo Saka equalized early into the second, and then Leandro Trossard, with one of the goals of the weekend, found the top corner in stylish fashion. And it looked like Arsenal would have taken all 3 points, but Brian Brobby, who came off the bench with an acrobatic finish to give the Sunderland a point at the Stadium of Light. But from Chelsea's point of view, we have to be proactive here. There's no option but to be proactive. Been very disappointed with the way Pedro Neto has played on the right-hand side. The way that Estevao has raised the level, when you see Pedro Neto go below that, he is the experienced one, the Premier League proven player, number 7 on his back, £50 million. But we've seen a considerable dip in his performances over the last few weeks. We need a lot more from the Portuguese winger, with Estevao waiting in the wings. I don't think that Enzo Maresca has to wait too long before he makes changes here. We'll wait and see how he decides to go after the second half. From Wolves' point of view, more of the same. The way they're defended in the back 5, the 3 in midfield have kept things compact. Bruno Strand-Larsen and Hwang Hee-chan are the outlets, but they haven't really troubled Rob Sanchez in that first half so far. But it's 0-0. This is the best case scenario for Wolves heading into this game after being winless throughout the 10 games. Will they get an unlikely victory at Stamford Bridge? If that happens, my head would be on Mars. But Chelsea, any means necessary, have to get 3 points. 0-0 at the break. I'll be back very soon. We're just a couple of minutes away from the start of the second half. Chelsea with a decent start to the first half, but did taper off very quickly after that. Wolves, on the other hand, have been solid. They've kept Chelsea at bay. And Chelsea need a massive 45 minutes here with an opportunity to go second in the league. Very much on hand here. Have to capitalize. There's absolutely no option here for Chelsea. They have to go for broke. All 3 points is a must, an absolute must for the Blues. Willian is warming up. No surprises there. The bench with Gittins, Santos, Hato, James, Achimpong, Mark Guiu and Willian all on the bench to try and make an impact. Esteval has to come on as quickly as possible. Haven't seen anything from Pedro Neto in that first half that suggests that he should stay on long term. And that's why you can see Willian just accelerating his warm-up here as the Chelsea players are back on the pitch here. Massive 45 minutes here for the Blues. Well, Malo Gusto seems to have ridden that challenge, that knock that he had. Now back on his feet and back in for the start of the second half. Alejandro Garnacho showed glimpses in that first half. We need a lot more from the Chelsea attackers. It's a huge 45 minutes for the course of the season. Yeah, I cannot imagine drop points against 20th place Wolves heading into the international break as we're all set for the start of the second half. Chelsea just have to go out there and win. There's no other option but to go and win. All 3 points critical. Gusto to Pedro Neto. He's on borrowed time here in the second half. Wait and see how his performance improves. Tries to go on the outside of Bueno. Brilliant bit of skill there. Cut back. It's an outstanding defensive interception there. It's Krejci who comes across. Pedro Neto might have heard an absolute rocket at him from Enzo Maresca. You can see a difference in him. Goes down the byline on his right foot. He was waiting to try and find that to Liam Delap. Instead, it's a corner here for Chelsea. Left-footed ball being floated in here. The in-swinger by Pedro Neto. Neto delivers. It's cleared away quite comfortably. Neto has another opportunity. Thought about the cross. Fast stick pass is easily intercepted. Caicedo with a good touch. And now it's Cucurella. Chelsea have to be proactive here. Cannot sit back and go with these negative passing. Have to force the issue here. In terms of defensively, we were largely untroubled in that first half. Here's Pedro Neto. Joao Pedro. Might have been a foul, but I think he has committed the foul while he was on the deck. Free kick for Wolves. In a day where Tottenham, Manchester United, Arsenal and Sunderland drop points, is Chelsea going to follow suit here? As I mentioned before, heading into the international break on the back of a loss or a draw really does knock the stuffing out of you. Chelsea unchanged. All eyes will be on Willian. But again, I said this in one of my videos where, as it stands, Josh Achimpong is one of our best defenders at the club without Levi Colwill. He's 19 years old. And without Cole Palmer, our best attacker is Willian, all of 18 years of age. We need the collective. We need the experienced players to really show what they're all about here. Here's Sam Johnston, who had a huge part to play for keeping it at 0-0. A couple of very good saves. Gusto's header. Good strong play there from Totti Gomez. Here's Gomes. Good 1-2 played, and it's good understanding there from Malo Gusto. Joao Gomez, Andre and Bellegarde have really played well in the midfield for Wolves. in terms of covering the spaces and forcing Chelsea onto the side. Brilliant win there from Caicedo. And here's Pedro Neto driving forward. He's taken a dive there, and he's very fortunate that the referee falls for it. It's a yellow card for Wolves too. I think that's Andre, the number 7. Yes, it is. You can see there Pedro Neto, good pace shown. Clear foul there by the Brazilian on the Portuguese. Pedro Neto has been a lot more incisive in the second half. Need him to take a lot more responsibilities here. Here's Cucurella. Shifts it out on the left-hand side for Alejandro Garnacho. His crossing has been subpar. Here's Enzo Fernandez though. Clip ball into the box. Easily headed away. Chelsea need to be a bit more patient here and find the right moments. Garnacho up against Shachua. Cross comes in. Gusto's in the box. And the header might have been cleared away there from Wolves. It is. Bueno comes across and makes sure that he got a head onto it. It's out for another corner here for Chelsea. Good ball in by Garnacho. Hugo Bueno. The very good header out for a corner for Chelsea. Again, we've started the second half well. Very much on the front foot. Taking the corner shot. Here's Pedro Neto. Alejandro Garnacho. Marco Correa under pressure. Caicedo forced to go all the way back. Again, Chelsea taking these short corners. Make no sense to me, man. Sanchez drills the ball, asking so much of Joao Pedro. Fair play to Joao Pedro, man. He just chases down the lost causes. Cole Palmer watches on. Really hope Cole is back after this international break. He's played one game against Crystal Palace. He played about 20 minutes at Old Trafford. And that's it from Cole's point of view. In the Premier League, did play 90 minutes against Bayern Munich where he did score. But man, oh man, the team will completely change once Cole Palmer is back, that's for sure. Beautiful switch out there by Moises Caicedo to Alejandro Garnacho. Up against Shachua. Garnacho, Cucurella. Garnacho again. Driving forward, drops the shoulder, cross comes into the box to make it 1-0. It is Malo Gusto who scores his first goal for Chelsea, and what a time to do so. Brilliant cross in by Garnacho. Malo Gusto attacks the box, and his header from close range gives Chelsea the lead. We needed that. We absolutely needed that. Malo Gusto can celebrate. Made sure that he was healthy and fit enough to start the second half. This ball by Garnacho is first class. An assist for Garnacho. Beautiful ball in. Ooh, Malo Gusto, are you offside? This is a tight call. Totti Gomez. Has he played Gusto onside? We'll have to wait and see. It would be a real blow for Chelsea if this goal is disallowed. But Malo Gusto from nearly unmissable range heads home Chelsea's opener here. We'll wait and see whether or not it is offside. Enzo Maresca with a huge smile on his face, seeing Malo Gusto score his first goal for Chelsea. Nearly 2.5 seasons at the club. Better late than never. Whew. Huge load off, man. Huge weight being lifted off the shoulders. The goal has been given. Outstanding. Chelsea make that quick movement. Garnacho a lot more influential. And now that Chelsea have the goal, the players can finally relax and play their normal game here. The second goal now becomes paramount. Can't stop just because we got one. Have to go back again. Well, Malo Gusto's header continues to attack the box. Often it puzzles Chelsea fans that why we see Gusto so far up the pitch. That goal doesn't completely justify it, but it is one of the reasons why you see the fullbacks making those runs into the box. Fofana being put under a bit of pressure. Chalobah. As it stands, Chelsea will be in second position But they have to close this game out here. Joao Pedro. Again, the way he takes care of the ball is very good. And Pedro Neto does the opposite there. It's so poor from Neto. Again, we need a lot more experience here from Pedro Neto. Cannot be giving the ball away so needlessly. Sam Johnston was powerless to stop the Gusto header. Chalobah steps in. Good header there to Enzo Fernandez. Here's Marco Correa. Stamford Bridge faithful will be a lot more settled now and get behind the team. Fofana, Chalobah, between the lines to Moises Caicedo. Beautifully done. Caicedo to the goal scorer, Gusto. Pedro Neto. Joao Pedro. Liam Delap's effort. It's a tame one. Again, good movement there from Chelsea. Look at the back flick there from Joao Pedro. He's a true Brazilian baller, isn't he? Rarely put a foot wrong in this match. Look at Joao Pedro again. That is not a foul. That is absolutely not a foul. Joao Pedro has every right to contest that decision. Nearly 10 minutes into the second half. Chelsea have the goal that we have been thirsting for all match. And it came from the most unlikeliest of sources. Good header there from Chalobah all over Strand Larsen. Caicedo finds Pedro Neto. A step over to get away from the defenders. Totti Gomez just ushers him out of the way. Easily done here. Joao Gomez. Hwang Hee-chan to Andre. Now Wolves will have to come out here at some point in this match. They have to try and salvage something. Again, Caicedo leaves a bit of a cruncher there. Referee waves play on. Forcing Wolves to go all the way back. Risky pass, but turns out to be a good one here for Bellegarde. Nice pass between the lines for Bueno. He looks to turn here. Andre slips in a ball for Strand Larsen. Clever pass here. It's Bueno on the left-hand side. Hugo Bueno, well defended by Trevor Chalobah. Beautifully done. Joao Pedro looking to help out in the build-up. Again, we need to see a lot more from Liam Delap as well. Now that Chelsea do have the goal, it'll be the perfect time for him to get his first Premier League goal for the Blues. Oh, that's a needless foul there by Wesley Fofana. He really doesn't have to make that one on Bellegarde. Wolves will have a free kick in a decent position here. In open play, they have rarely threatened, but in set pieces, it can become fair game here. With the left wing back, Hugo Bueno, getting ready to take this free kick here on his left foot. Look for the big boys towards the back stick here. Santiago Bueno is one of the options. Krejci will look to peel off the defenders. Chelsea's back post defending is suspect. Wait and see whether or not lessons have been learned as Bueno floats this one towards the far stick again. It's a free header. It's a chance. It's a magnificent clearance. We talked about Chelsea's defending at the far post. Lackluster to say the very least. Wolves keep the ball very nicely here. Here's Joao Gomez. Hwang Hee-chan back to Gomez. Fofana's aggressive. He wins the challenge. Oh, Malo Gusto takes a chance. And Wesley Fofana sweeps up. Malo Gusto showing far too much composure. Nearly got the goal scorer in trouble there. Here's Totti Gomez. Finds Bellegarde. In waiting for runners. Wolves players quite static here. Bellegarde. Lovely 1-2. Caicedo with a challenge. Caicedo's running on thin ice here. I think he's got one more challenge before he gets booked. Keeps it short. There's Krejci. Goes to Bueno. They've taken a risk there. They played out beautifully there, Wolves. Nicely done there from the black and gold here. Bueno into the box. Sliding challenge. Well, Trevor Chalobah was on his heels. He does make the clearance. But he wasn't the front foot defending that we needed there. Saw Strand Larsen looking to just sweep that home from close range. Chelsea's defending has just gone to sleep here. Here's Andre. Switches it on to the right-hand side for Chachua. Trying to take on Kukurea. Good play there from the wing back. Far too much on it. And out for a goal kick. And the right wing back with a great engine. See the Strand Larsen chance here. The way that Wolves just played through our midfield. It was like a hot knife through butter. The way that they just moved the ball. Bueno's first time ball into the box. You can see Trevor Chalobah, fortunately from his point of view, read the danger just enough. Liam Delap brings that down beautifully there. And that's what Liam Delap allows us to do here. Hit those long balls, and Enzo Fernandez does well to drive and lay it off to Malo Gusto. Here's Pedro Neto. Goes around the outside. Tries to use his shoulder strength. It's Malo Gusto. He's in the box. He gets dispossessed quite easily there. Caicedo with an excellent challenge. Gusto has left the ground. And Andre has the ball. And Wolves looking to counter-attack here. Here's Chachua. Keeps it short. Here's Bellegarde. Into the 60th minute. Here's Krejci. To Bueno. Back to Krejci again. That's a brilliant read there from Caicedo, but he's lost out. Has to be careful. Takes a nibble. Referee waves play on. Caicedo has to be careful. Keeps looking to foul Gomez. The referee waved play on multiple occasions. Caicedo is definitely picking up a yellow card. We talked about him walking a tightrope. He lost the first challenge. Kept going for more. He wasn't going to let João Gomez. Oh, that's a very bad challenge there from Caicedo. Yellow card for the Ecuadorian. 30 minutes of normal time remaining. Still a lot of football still to go here. The Wolves taking their time with this free kick. Again, the clip pass in towards the far stick is the option. Instead, he goes central. A very strange decision there from Bellegarde. Here's Bueno. Back to Bellegarde again. Drives forward nicely. Nobody closing him down. Goes for a strike from distance. Oh, well, that was Wolves' best opportunity in this match so far. It's a strike from distance. Again, once he shrugs off the challenge of Pedro Neto, nobody closes him down. And he decides why not. Really catches that well. But Chelsea have to close down these efforts a lot better here. All it takes is a shot from space. Lester Willian is coming on. And that was Wolves' first attempt. It took the better part of an hour for that to arrive. Lester Willian hopefully should be replacing Pedro Neto, who has once again struggled, this time against his former side. Here's Krejci. Andre. Good pass between the lines. Clever touch there by Hwang Hee-chan. Goes for the reverse to Strand Larsen. Holds it up nicely. Shifts it onto the right-hand side. Space has opened up. Wolves with 3 players in the box. Cross comes in. Trevor Chalobah's header is excellent. Enzo Fernandez picks that up and immediately looks for Alejandro Garnacho. What a pass this is. Liam Delap is in the box. Garnacho's cross is poor. It's very poor. Delap had made the run. Needed that pass to be absolutely spot on. Here's Hwang Hee-chan. Totti Gomez. Krejci goes back to the goalkeeper, Sam Johnston. Hasn't had saves to make in the second half. Was busy in the first. Enzo Fernandez, beautiful pass to Liam Delap. Here's João Pedro, serving his options. Goes to Alejandro Garnacho, cut back. It's João Pedro. He could have taken the shot, but he couldn't set his feet up. Moises Caicedo thought about the shot, fakes nicely. Here's Garnacho, waits for the overlap. It doesn't arrive. It's Enzo Fernandez though. Cut back into the box, and it's an opportunity. And it's Krejci who somehow smuggles that away for a corner. Enzo Fernandez was just waiting for someone to tap this home. Good run here from Enzo. Turns him beautifully. Oh, that was so close for an own goal. Outside of the boot pass, Krejci somehow gets a boot on it. Corner for Chelsea. Liam Delap was just waiting for the tap in. Enzo Fernandez now with the corner here. They've taken short corners all match. They've been really poor. This corner is even worse there from Enzo Fernandez. I think Enzo Maresca has to quickly take Enzo Fernandez off corner kick duties. We've seen that throughout. Ooh, this is a very strange decision, really. Pedro Neto remains on the pitch. Liam Delap is coming off for Esteval Willian. Liam Delap's wait for his first Premier League goal continues as Esteval Willian, the Brazilian sensation, comes on. Well, I wonder who's going to be playing as the number 10 now. I think it will be Esteval. Esteval will be the number 10 with the wingers remaining the same, and João Pedro playing as the number 9 now. Good header there by Strand Larsen, but nobody there for the second ball. You've seen Esteval create all sorts of havoc down the right-hand side. Saw Enzo Maresca talk about how Esteval Willian can be very effective in the inside, playing as a number 10 as well. Pedro Neto, brilliant ball. Well, João Pedro timed his run perfectly. Had to check his run though. Here's Enzo Fernandez. Waiting for options. He's taking his time. Decides to recycle possession smartly there. Here's Caicedo. To Esteval Willian, his first involvement. Brazilian goes around the outside. Cutback is brilliant. João Pedro, 2-0. And talk about immediate impact. Esteval Willian finds João Pedro. It's the Brazilian connection, and it's 2-0 to Chelsea. João Pedro scored against Spurs, now scores against Wolves, and Chelsea have breathing room. Immediate impact from Esteval Willian. This boy is special, man. He really is special. He scored against Karabag, and now he lays it on a plate for João Pedro, who hammered it past Sam Johnston. Well, the true Brazilians are looking to light up Stamford Bridge here. João Pedro with back-to-back goals here. Look at Esteval Willian, how positive he is. Goes on the outside, right-footed ball, takes a bit of a deflection, falls right into the path of João Pedro, who scores his 5th Premier League goal. Or is it his 4th Premier League goal? 4 Premier League goals. No chance there for the goalkeeper. João Pedro finding his scoring boots again. Well, Liam Delap, spare a thought for him. He hasn't gotten to the positions to get those shots away, but as soon as he comes off, Chelsea have the goal as João Pedro in the number 9 position buries it. And you could see that from Enzo Maresca's reaction. A huge weight being lifted off. Wolves' wait for their first Premier League victory. Looks like it might have to continue here past the international break. Chelsea, as it stands, will go into 2nd position if they can take this scoreline forward. Well, João Pedro with another excellent game. Switched to centre forward, and his first action was smashing that past Sam Johnston. Esteval Willian, I am running out of superlatives with you, son. 18 years of age. We heard about all of those hyperboles, didn't we, from Brazil, that he is the biggest talent since Neymar to come out of Brazil. You take those comments with a pinch of salt, but the Brazilians know exactly how to rate their ballers. Esteval Willian has started off in some fashion here for Chelsea. Well, he is making a case for regular starts in the Premier League, and I think once Cole Palmer is back and Esteval on the right-hand side, beautiful back heel there from Malo Gusto. Here's Esteval Willian, clever pass for Malo Gusto in the box. Totti Gomez is very quick. He turns on the afterburners. Some great recovery pace. Wolves have to go for broke here now. Look at Esteval working tremendously hard. João Pedro, Malo Gusto. Keeps it very nicely for Moises Caicedo. Here's Enzo Fernandez. thought about the shot. Enzo Fernandez looking to curl that one in. Nobody putting pressure on the Argentine. Looking to just shape that in towards the far stick. We're looking at Estevan Willian, how he makes that immediate impact. Shifts it onto his right. Joao Pedro in the perfect spot there. Doesn't need to take a touch. There's enough power on the cross. Just needs to make sure that he got the connection spot on. And he does. Antoine Grant says, Samba time. Absolutely. And 2 more. And if we do get 2 more, my friend, you've got your prediction spot on. I'm going to be honest with you. When you mentioned 4-0, I wasn't convinced. But Chelsea need a couple more. Wolves getting ready with a double substitution here. Might be a foul there by Krejci. It is on Pedro Neto. Number 37 on the number 7. Wolves might use this opportunity to bring on their double substitution here. Into the 70th minute. Hwang Hee-chan comes off. He had a decent shift. As Mane comes on for Wolverhampton Wanderers. Hwang Hee-chan and Bellegarde both off. And the 2 substitutes who will be looking to try and make the impact for Wolves are Mane and Munetsi rather. Antoine Grant says, Vinny Jr., Endrick, move over. It's Estevan time. Maybe not Vinny Jr., but Endrick for sure. He's not gotten any sort of game time this season at Madrid. Vinny Jr. still is the standard bearer for Brazilian talent with the Champions League that he has under his belt. But Estevan Willian is making a really great case, isn't he? Even for Don Carlo Ancelotti, in summertime, when he has to pick his side, Estevan Willian is banging on the door to start at right wing. Ooh, Wesley Fofana has had a very nasty landing there, holding his lower back. Wolves wanted to take the throw in quickly, but Fofana is really struggling here. Again, very good leap. Mane just leant into him. And you can see where Wesley Fofana just suffered that, but he should be okay. Antoine Grant says, God bless Jamaica. I'm with you on that, brother. Well, 20 minutes plus stoppage time remain for Wolves to try and get something back. Chelsea looking to improve their goal difference now. Well, as it stands, Chelsea are 5 points behind the Gunners. It is not a worse position to be in. It's not bad whatsoever heading into the international break, with hopefully Cole Palmer joining the fray once the break is over. Have to make sure that we really do make sure that Cole Palmer is back to 100%. But Chelsea with 20 points with a goal difference of +9. And if Manchester City or Liverpool win tomorrow, they will leapfrog Chelsea. Good challenge there by Malo Gusto. He's been really up for it. It's been an excellent performance from the right back. Yes, a lot of questions would have been asked. If Chelsea can get 1 more goal, it would be a nice time to give maybe Moises Caicedo some rest. Chalobah has been rock solid. Enzo Fernandez, what a pass. Can he get that through to Garnacho, who has the pace? Look at him go. Alejandro Garnacho, Pedro Neto! 3-0 to Chelsea. Garnacho has 2 assists in real quick time. Pedro Neto from unmissable range scores against his former club. And Chelsea are 3-0 up and home and dry. Alejandro Garnacho's pace on the left-hand side really is something else. That pass by Enzo Fernandez is special because he's got that perfectly. It's on the money. Garnacho doesn't have to break stride. And once he gets past the defender, he picks his head up for Pedro Neto to score from a central position. Chelsea 3-0 up. Antoine Grant, we're 1 goal away from your prediction. Look at this pass from Enzo Fernandez. Outstanding. And Garnacho with the pace. Pedro Neto with the right positioning. Adjusts his feet very quickly as he scores his second Premier League goal. Garnacho's got 2 assists in what has been a very productive game for him. Chelsea have 3 and now certainly wrapped up all 3 points. Well, the trademark Alejandro Garnacho celebration at the bridge here as Pedro Neto joins in the celebration. A kiss on the cheek for the Argentine as Chelsea are 3-0 up. It was a hectic first half. The second one has been absolutely spot on. Antoine Grant, you just might be the soothsayer, the clairvoyant. With 1 more to go and Estevao next, it really could happen. Caicedo has to be careful. He is on a yellow card. This might be the perfect opportunity to take off Moises Caicedo. He should have gotten a rest against Karabag. Instead, he played pretty much all the 90 minutes in what was a disappointing game in a tough stadium, tough conditions. It would be really good to see him just rest. And hopefully Enzo Maresca can sit him down for the international break. Cucurella dwells on the ball for far too long. Good pass there by Rob Sanchez. Chelsea looking for back-to-back clean sheets in the Premier League. Look at Estevao's touch. It's brilliant. Malo Gusto rides the challenge. Surely a foul there. Into the 75th minute. As it stands, Chelsea, after 11 games played, 6 points behind the Gunners. Sunderland dropping points, Spurs dropping points. Hopefully Manchester City and Liverpool can play out a draw tomorrow, which keeps Chelsea in second position heading into the international break. Here's Enzo Fernandez, who really has looked good today. Ball into the box. Look at the chest control there from Joao Pedro, and Pedro Neto nearly finds Joao Pedro again. Joao Pedro is a special footballer, man. If Chelsea have to keep buying, just keep going to Brighton and keep buying. I mean, got Cucurella, Sanchez, and now Joao Pedro. If you include Rob Sanchez in the list, a lot of Chelsea fans rather, will find that he's not in the elite class. I think the way that he's played this season has been really eye-opening because he's been a lot more solid. Seen very few errors being committed by him. The one against Manchester United will still haunt us, considering it was a red card in the 5th or 6th minute, which completely killed our chances in that game. But other than that, he has barely put a foot wrong. His distribution, his high claims, and his shot stopping has very much been on full display here. As the double substitution being readied here by Enzo Maresca. Reece James coming on for Malo Gusto. And it seems that Mark Guiu coming on for potentially Joao Pedro. It was Alejandro Garnacho's cross that set up Malo Gusto, which got things rolling for Chelsea at the bridge. Malo Gusto's first goal for the club coming at the perfect time. It's Malo Gusto and Pedro Neto both coming off, which means Joao Pedro will have to play a bit more, which means Joao Pedro will drop back into the number 10 position, with Mark Guiu now leading the line. Well, Mark Guiu, of course, was on loan on Sunderland before the start of the season, but Chelsea had to rescind the loan after Liam Delap's injury and Nico Jackson moving to Bayern Munich on loan on the same day. Marco Cucurella goes for the header. Throw in for Wolves, who head into yet another international break with no wins registered. Rob Edwards truly has a task on his hand. We've seen history when teams do not win games in the first 11. You're pretty much destined for relegation. Here's Totti Gomez. Mane being put under pressure. Caicedo with a brilliant win here. Estevao Willian. Brilliant pass. It's Joao Pedro. Good save by the goalkeeper. And from the follow-up, Mark Guiu cannot convert. Well, Joao Pedro had an age to make a decision, thought about shooting. Instead, he went for the slip pass here. Look at this from Esteval Willian. His identification of passing is just special. And Mark Guiu thought that he might have a tap in from close range after Sam Johnston made a real mess. And the effort from Mark Guiu did come off the base of the post. Unlucky there for the Spanish centre forward. Well, it has been a goal fest this Saturday. 4 goals at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, 4 goals at the Stadium of Light, 5 goals between West Ham and Burnley, and just the 2 when Everton scored both against Fulham. Joao Pedro has taken quite a few knocks there. This one on his foot. The Wolves substitute. Just looking to get his foot on the ball. It's a big stamp there on Joao Pedro's toes there. That is going to be a real sore one for the Brazilian. Well, it just shows you how important Moises Caicedo is in the mind of Enzo Maresca. We're 3-0 up into the 80th minute. Moises Caicedo still on the pitch. Well, Fofana and Chalobah are part of 2 games where Chelsea have gone back-to-back with clean sheets, and we really have limited. What a touch that is from Guiu to Garnacho. Again, Chelsea looking to step it up here. Enzo Fernandez to Caicedo. Here's the captain, Reece James, who just came onto the pitch now for Esteval Willian. Lays it off. Fernandez tries a cute and clever pass. Instead, it's been picked off. And Enzo Maresca, please take off Moises Caicedo. Look at him. Moises Caicedo still going. Beautiful pass there by Enzo Fernandez to Marc Cucurella. Garnacho is on a hat-trick of assists here. Drives forward again. Good defending. Well, 10 minutes plus stoppage time remain at the bridge. Chelsea nearly home and dry here. Back-to-back victories. First against Spurs away and now against Wolves. Hopefully, it will be back-to-back clean sheets as well. 6 points behind the Gunners heading into the international break. Is not a bad call here whatsoever. Get Cole Palmer fit again. Chelsea with more bodies fit, ready to go will give us the opportunity to try and make a real push. Have a corner now. Spoke about Enzo Fernandez's corners, which have been really poor. Reece James, once he's on the pitch, he should be the no-brainer call to take the corners. He's got a much better delivery. The vice captain delegates duty to the skipper here, Reece James, looking for his first major involvement in this match here. Manetzi had picked up a yellow card after that stamp on Joao Pedro. It's Reece James to deliver. He's got the height on it. Doesn't beat the first man. He's got a second bite of the cherry though. Lays it off to Garnacho. Caicedo. Clip pass towards Cucurella. Good defending there. Should be another corner for Chelsea, and it is. Take 2 for Reece James. Chelsea looking for the 4th here. Again, that will do our goal difference a world of good now. Clever pass between the lines. Esteval. Quick touches. Oh my goodness me. It's Mark Guiu who cannot find the back of the net. Esteval Willian fizzes that in such a dangerous area. This boy is playing with a smile on his face. Mark Guiu is onside. And how does he miss the target? My goodness me. He has to adjust his feet quicker. The ball is behind him. You can see Trevor Chalobah mystified that was off target. Well, Jamie Gittins and Andre Santos coming on. Caicedo stays on the pitch. Enzo Maresca, you're going to hear from me later on. It's Enzo Fernandez who gets 8 minutes plus stoppage time off. Andre Santos and Jamie Gittins on the pitch now. Well, Joao Pedro has done his job here. Chelsea with a lot of kids now on the pitch. Jamie Gittins had a difficult 45 minutes away at Baku. He was hooked on at half-time. Alejandro Garnacho did make the immediate impact since coming on. And today, rightfully justifying his selection in the team. Here's Bueno. Fofana, excellent, but he's lost out here. Here's Mane, trying to push forward. Could carry this from the substitute. Chelsea yet to put a challenge, and the challenge arrives very late. It's not a foul by Fofana. That is very surprising. Mane cannot believe that call went against him. It's a free kick for Chelsea. Trevor Chalobah hitting the wrong end of the challenge here. That's a clear foul there by Fofana, isn't it? Surely that's a foul. That is a poor decision there from the referee. And it is Mane who was driven right under the thigh of Chalobah. That's a sore one there for Chalobah. It's not on the thigh, it's on the tenders, as they call it. Chelsea nearly home and dry. Caicedo still on the pitch. It's the only black mark I will take from this game. That Chelsea are 3-0 up against bottom place Wolves, and Moises Caicedo has to complete 90 minutes in the eyes of the manager. Cucurella's back header is so bad, and Wolves are through on goal here. Massive opportunity. He pulls his shot wide. Munetsi should have capitalized. Cucurella's back header is terrible. That cannot be the case. Look at this. He goes to cushion it. Instead, it's a 1v1 opportunity. Has to take it quickly because he's under pressure. And the substitute can't guide that into the bottom corner. Struck that well. Sanchez is happy to see that go past the post. Chelsea have to make sure that they're switched on. Look at Estevao again. His touches are absolutely ridiculous. It's night and day. It's chalk and cheese compared to Pedro Neto in that position. Caicedo wins the challenge there and he gets the foul. It was João Gomez's challenge on the Ecuadorian. 5 minutes plus stoppage time remain. Chelsea nearly there. Take it short though. Here's Wesley Fofana. Moises Caicedo to Reece James. Here's Fofana again. Chelsea just looking to knock the ball around here. If they do that for the next 5 minutes plus stoppage time, the 3 points will be confirmed. Here's Cucurella. Fofana to Reece James. It's a channel pass for Jamie Gittins, who's playing on the right hand side, which means Estevao Willian will be playing as the number 10. And Alejandro Garnacho remains on the pitch. Mark Guiu presses well but can't get there first. Caicedo, brilliant. Under pressure, decides to go backwards to James. James has to sort his feet out. He'll get the throw in. Well, Wolves in the first half really did try their best, but in the second they were thoroughly outplayed by the Blues. This is the kind of comfortable home victories that every Chelsea fan pines for. Mark Guiu trying to make himself a nuisance. He's had 2 big opportunities to get on the score sheet. One hit the base of the post, and the second one from again unmissable range somehow couldn't guide that on target. Here's Gomez. Andre under a bit of pressure there. The 2 Brazilians. Estevao putting the pressure. Wolves looking to play out the back there. They've done so very nicely. Looking to turn here. Andre, beautifully done. Strand Larsen back to the Brazilian. Andre looks to spread that onto the right hand side. Beautiful pass here onto the right hand side for Chachua. Channel pass for Munetsi, who could have scored and had Wolves' best opportunity in the match. Here's Andre. Gomez. Caicedo is there. Good pass onto the right hand side. It's easily gathered by Rob Sanchez. Well, Munetsi has been quite the presence for Wolves up front. He's had a different dimension to the game here, but it's far too late from Wolverhampton Wanderers' point of view here. Time running out. Chelsea with 3 goals and 3 points. 2 minutes plus stoppage time remain. Chelsea just looking to take the sting out of the match completely. Here's Estevao. Again, look at his decision making, man. He scans the pitch so quickly, which allows him to really make those short and crisp passes. But Jamie Gittins, it's Strand Larsen on the left-hand side. It's taken a deflection. Might be a corner. Have a look whether or not the last touch came off the Chelsea defender. Strand Larsen bends his run very cleverly there, but asking a lot from him. The Wolves fans who have made the journey to West London will be leaving empty-handed as they're yet to see their team win a game in the Premier League, heading into another international break with the new manager Rob Edwards at the helm after it. He'll be right into the training ground immediately trying to get his team going. There's no time to waste whatsoever for Wolves, who are rooted to the bottom of the table. See West Ham starting to pick up points. Burnley have shown that they can compete, but they are losing some games where they might have picked up a draw at worst case scenario. Rob Sanchez inviting the press before he clips the ball onto the left-hand side. Garnacho is there, looks to ride the challenge, and he keeps the ball in play. Brilliant from the Argentine, which Achua does brilliantly there on the cover. And Garnacho has showed this hunger that is outstanding to see, really. Those 2 assists will go a long way to endear himself in the eyes of Enzo Maresca. Decisiveness is what it's all about. Antoine Grant, we may not get the 4th goal, but 3-0 at the bridge. I'll absolutely take that heading into the international break. Into stoppage time now. He's turned that forward. Wolves have committed so many bodies forward with 4 minutes of stoppage time remaining. Caicedo finds Jamie Gittins, who's on the right-hand side, having to switch from his preferred wing place. Gittins being conservative with the ball, finds his skipper Reece James. Wesley Fofana, great to see Fofana back, playing back-to-back Premier League games and keeping back-to-back Premier League clean sheets. Once again will go a long way for Chelsea. Estevao and Gittins combining, brilliant play here. Guiu back to Gittins, smooth move this from Chelsea. It's Garnacho who went for the first time shot. He was tired of being provider, wanted to be the goal scorer. Gittins to Cucurella. Back to Jamie Gittins and his preferred left wing now. Chelsea playing the game at walking pace now. Here's Wesley Fofana. Reece James, the right-hand side. What a pass this is for Gittins. Can he get there first? He can't. Good defending on the cover there from Bueno. Will be a corner for Chelsea. Good run that from Jamie Gittins. Know that Reece James would play an inch-perfect pass. We've got Reece James and Estevao Willian on corner duties. It will be Estevao with his left foot. The in-swinger. Chelsea looking for the 4th. And if that's the case, Antoine Grant's prediction will be absolutely spot on. Here's Gittins. Caicedo keeps it short for Fofana. Should go all the way back to Sanchez, and he does. Well, the triple header today has been absolutely exhausting for me. Been on comm for 6 hours today. But it's been an absolute pleasure, man. The games have gone all in favor of Chelsea too. That's what makes it worth it. Halfway through stoppage time here. Chelsea just looking to run down the clock now. Here's Fofana to Reece James. Reece James immediately picks his head up to find Gittins. Beautiful pass there from the skipper. Gittins shows his strength. He's been bundled off the ball quite comfortably there. As the Wolves defenders will be disappointed in the manner in which the goals were conceded. They were far too easy from Chelsea's point of view. Almost unmissable, all 3 goals. Sam Johnston, who was heroic in the first half, but pretty much could do nothing about all 3 goals, which were from close range. Here's Krejci. Final minute of stoppage time. Here's Hugo Bueno. Shaw Gomez to Totti Gomez. Krejci. Gomez to his namesake Gomez. Reece James putting the pressure. Chelsea still hungry here, still pressing as if the game was still 0-0. Reece James nearly pinches the ball, but unfairly in the eyes of the referee. Well, Chelsea 30 seconds of stoppage time away from having the perfect weekend. On a day where Spurs, Manchester United, Arsenal and Sunderland drop points, Chelsea get all three. And tomorrow, the game against Liverpool and Manchester City, which I'll definitely be covering. If that ends up as level peggings or a score draw, really would be the perfect weekend. 10 on 10 for Chelsea heading into the... What a challenge that is from Moises Caicedo. It's absolutely brilliant as that signals the end of the contest. Chelsea get all 3 points at the bridge. And we have 3 different goal scorers as Malo Gusto, Joao Pedro and Pedro Neto with 3 second half goals to give Chelsea all 3 points. And as it stands, we are 6 points behind league leaders Arsenal, who dropped points today at the Stadium of Light. Malo Gusto scored his first goal for the club, and what a time to score it. When we needed it the most, he comes up with an important goal. Joao Pedro scoring in back-to-back games. Estevao Willian making the impact immediately after coming on. And Pedro Neto scored from close range after Alejandro Garnacho put it on a plate for him, like he did with Malo Gusto's goal. All 3 points at the bridge for Chelsea, with Gusto, Joao Pedro and Pedro Neto, the 3 goal scorers for the Blues. Full time here at Stamford Bridge. It's Chelsea 3,